Hello and welcome back to this series on working with views in Nodeo. My name is Marcus. In our last video, we created two views and experimented with different resizing and pinning behavior. In this video, we dive into the deep end and build a typical app layout with navigation bars and multiple tabs. This is going to be a long video, so let's get started. You can create any layout with Nodeo. There are no fixed templates you're bound to. However, a common layout would make it look like a typical app. Especially the standard top navigation and bottom bar layout that so many apps use. So that's what we're going for today. The default project already has top bars in both views and navigation set up between them, so I'll leave them like that. I might want to change the color a bit. Instead, I'll create an additional view next to them called Profile. This will be the view shown from our second tab. Now I want to check the box for flexible width, but I'll leave the flexible height unchanged. And instead, I'm going to make this view really, really tall. You'll see why later on. Create a subview inside the profile view. And call it placeholder. Now duplicate this view and center it inside the profile view. Now press duplicate again. Notice how the next duplicate is placed at the same offset as the original. Okay, let's move on and create the main view. And check both boxes for flexible width and height. Create a subview inside main view and call it tab view. This should have a flexible width, but not a flexible height. It should be pinned to the bottom. Now create another two subviews inside the tab view. These should have half the width and be named tab 1 with a flexible width and a pin to the left side. Now let's duplicate tab 1. And rename it to tab 2. And also change the pinning to right side. You can also enter something for the text, such as profile and home. Above the tab bar, create another subview. This will be our content view for the first tab. It should fill the remainder of the screen, and let's call it tab 1 content. It should have a flexible width and height and also be pinned to the bottom. since we want to have a fixed margin here for the tab bar. Now let's duplicate this view for the tab content for the second tab. And reposition it. Now, we just made a small mistake here. When dragging this view on top of the tab 1 content, we actually added the view as a subview. To move the view to the parent view, which is main view, open the variables panel, press edit, and then drag the tab 2 content above tab 1 content, just below main view. And we'll see here that we have the tab 1 content on top, which is fine for now. Okay, that's it for the views. Now it's time to build the navigation inside the node editor. Start by duplicating the add view node and placing them next to each other. Change the parent import of the first node to tab 1 content. And change the parent import of the second node to tab 2 content. Also change the view import to profile view. And for the third tab, we're going to change the view import to main view. This node should have an empty parent import because we want to add the main view to the top presentation layer. Press launch to verify that view 1 is added to the content view of the first tab. Looks good so far. However, if you press show view 2, the view will slide in and cover the whole screen, including the tab bar. This is because the transition also has an empty parent import and it's added to the presentation layer by default. To fix this, let's change the parent import of the transition node to tab 1 content. And try again. Good. Now let's add tab nodes for the tabs to be able to switch between the views as well. Duplicate a tab node and an add view node and place them next to each other. Connect the tab output to the add import and change the view import to tab 1. And change the view import of the add view node to tab 1 content. And don't forget to change the parent node as well to main view, because that's where the tab 1 content view is located. Now let's duplicate these two nodes. And change them for tab 2. Okay, let's check it out. Great. We now have two separate navigation stacks that we can toggle between by pressing two tabs in a stationary controller. This is a great template for a lot of apps, and it doesn't take more than a few minutes to set up if you've done it once before. Remember, you can create any setup by varying how the subviews are ordered and which parent views you select when adding or transitioning to other views. What about the tall profile view? Because this view is taller than its parent and doesn't have a flexible height, it would automatically be scrollable. Makes design easier. Okay, this was a really long video and I hope you were able to follow along. In our next video, we'll take a look at colors and try to make this app a bit more appealing to the eye. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for future content. Thanks for watching.